A commentary on a racing game. How low can we really go?
I take it you're still salty about the whole solitaire thing.
Did you miss last? Yeah, did you miss last time we did that?
True, I mean, granted, this one just has far more to it. I mean, thanks a lot, Beanox.
Yep.
Welcome to
Crash Bandicoot!
But he's on a cart this time.
Yep. So, yeah, much of the same vein as the Insane Trilogy and the Reignite Trilogy, welcome to Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, a full-on remake / expansion of sorts for Crash Team Racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bringing back the elements. We thought it was just going to be the first.
You okay?
Crash.
You look a little weird.
Oh.
Gotta relax the jaws a bit.
You can only hold that smile for so long.
But
yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Crash, I already pushed the button, and damn it.
Imagine Crash reading out all of this, like, now you have to read this legislative.
Actually, what's funny is that, like, James was just about to skip it, but there's actually a lot of really fun Easter eggs in that title screen. Like, at the beginning, Crash would actually be kind of, like, pointing down, like, with his eyes and take one of his hands. It's like, you gotta press the button? And at one point, he even falls asleep.
Yeah, they really went the extra mile with this game, and it's like, it just evokes that same level of amusement and fascination that we previously had with the other remakes we've had so far. And well, let's also put into perspective here. As far as we're concerned, Activision has pretty much remade every major PS1 title outside of the ones that weren't made by the actual people that made them, so it's like, where can they go from here?
Oh, tiny.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of hope that they do skip on to new games, because I know a lot of people really want to see, like, Twin Sanity remastered, and I'd be game for that as well, but I think we're starting to get to a point where it's like, okay, you have our permission to make new games now.
Well, I'd be curious between this and Spyro to see some new elements brought in, but anyway, Jordy, how are you doing today with us?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got out of work. It's a little warm, but it's fine. Oh, and it's my mom's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom!
Yay!
Happy birthday, Jordy's mom. We're recording Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled.
Oh, nice retro Crash model.
Which looks nothing like the PS1 model.
No, but it's similar.
Close enough.
Anywho, so yeah, we thought this was going to be a big thing, focusing just on the first Crash Team Racing, but as you'll see, they actually bring a lot of... Wow, Goku got some big statues. As we'll see later, they actually brought a lot of elements from all the racing games into this.
Beep, beep. So, yeah, if it's not immediately obvious, folks, we're doing a commentary on the adventure mode, which, I mean, it's pretty much an adventure mode you'd expect out of a kart racer.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Complete with aliens.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, aliens come to the Crash universe.
Apparently.
Actually, if I can make a quick thing about Oxide here, there's actually an amusing story about his creation. Apparently, like we all know, this was like the original version of this was like the last game Naughty Dog made. They actually were kind of like gung-ho about this being the last game, to a point where they like, what's the biggest sign to tell that we're really jumping the shark? Let's add an alien as our main villain.
Pretty much. And if I'm not mistaken, the original ending for Crash Team Racing was going to involve the alien just getting so mad at his loss that he just blows up the Earth.
Well, thankfully that doesn't happen.
So yeah, Alien invades, wants to take over the world in a racing competition. So who better to call upon the scene than all of Crash's friends and enemies, including the Bandicoot himself, to save the day. Oh, or break stuff.
Oh, okay.
I love how most people will probably react to this in panic. Thank you, Polar and Penta. But I love the idea that when all of this happens, most people will be panicking and be and would be in deep fear. But not them. They're like, okay, I want to be the one who saves the world. I want to be the one who saves the world.
For different reasons, of course. Now how's Crash getting ready for the big race?
By sleeping, apparently.
Ow!
Oh, and eating a bug.
Firefly.
Still, it counts as an insect.
So,
Welcome to the adventure arena.
Aku Aku, if you would.
Welcome to the adventure area. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills. The dots and stars on the map represent
Really quickly, if you're
warpaths
playing as one of the
into
villains, he
races.
actually will be replaced with Uka Uka, who in this game sounds like a Cajun Jake the dog.
To access
Yeah, he does, and it's so
ride
weird.
a warp pad that has an active warp vortex, and it will take
I
you to
mean,
the
makes sense
track
considering they're both
starting
voiced by
line.
the same actor.
Finish the track in first place.
Oh,
to
I'll
win
say
a
that with all the
trophy.
effects, they definitely decided to go a little flashier with this one over the Insane.
Oh yeah, that is, like, make no mistake, this is a, whether it's on the PS4 and even on the Switch, this is a gorgeous looking game.
So I guess I should leave out a story for you lads. I'm recording off the PS4 version, which, let's be fair here, about a good majority of Crash Team Racing players are playing on, because this was like the version that they advertised to hell and back. But anyway,
Right.
I digress. I'm recording off the PS4 version just because, well, I figured the extra fidelity would be nice, and I also got this version as a failsafe if in the event the Switch version, which I opted for in the first place, didn't really work up to snuff. But I mean, to my satisfaction, it actually does, barring the few losses in graphical detail. So. After we're done with this adventure mode here, you bet your sweet Bippy we're going to start doing some multiplayer matches, and in doing those, we're going to resort to the Switch version. But in the meantime, since I'm using the PS4 version, I'll go ahead and use this time to make use out of the exclusive stuff that's part of this version, including the retro skins for Crash, Coco, and Cortex.
Nice.
Also, if you pre-ordered the game from, it doesn't, let me try to say, regardless of which version, if you pre-order the game, you also get 3 Electron skins, I think, for Crash, Coco, and Cortex.
But they will become available on the Switch in the pit stop at some point.
No, it's pre-ordered for the Switch too.
Oh, nice. Okay, so I guess we need to, because I know we already did look at on the original CTR, and which is why many people recognize old stages from that, including some new ones from another game we never looked at. I don't think.
No, we looked at all the racing games.
We did look at Nitrous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
Nitro-Fueled. Okay. Anywho's, so just to clarify for my sake then, because I wasn't either paying attention nor did I play these games again growing up, how do the mechanics of the Crash racing games work?
If you will.
Well, if you ever played Mario Kart, then you know exactly how to play this game. Though, that being said, Crash throws a bit of a wrench to the equation by how its drifting mechanic works. Basically, while you're drifting, you'll have this meter that builds up, and as it builds up, you want to press the other drift button in order to activate a boost. You can do this up to 3 times per drift.
Okay. And I'm assuming the Wumpa Fruit act like coins and letting you accelerate faster, reach higher top speeds and stuff.
On
And
top
not
of that,
only that... Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, the Wumpas do increase your speed, and when you get 10, they also increase the potency of your items. Like, for example, that TNT crate, when you have 10 Wumpa Fruits, it turns into a Nitro crate.
Ooh, okay.
Shiba Crash.
Oh yeah, it should also be said that among the other things that Nitro-Fueled added, they not just the carts, but also the characters, but also alternate skins for all of them. Again, you've obviously got Crash looking all retro and all that stuff, but he can also have like color palettes that makes him either look like a Shiba Inu or a blue cocaina.
Or a skunk.
Which I think is weird.
I'm so glad to see Crash have the weird big old belly button back for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on the air quotes Insane Mall, it is still there, it's just more subtle.
Faster through turns by power slide.
Yeah, because it always did look weird.
Press the power
While he
slide
tells us
button
about stuff we
to
already know,
perform
Jordy, what were
hard
your
turns.
experiences like with Crash Racing?
Actually, come to think of it, I think this was one of the first racing games I played when I was a kid with my brother, and I'll admit, I don't know if it's changed to this day, it might have, but I was never really good at racing games a lot. I mean, I liked the idea of them, I just wasn't, like, good at them.
Were you one of those same people that just play it just for shits and giggles, and whenever you finish the race, like, yay, I'm an 8th?
Not exactly, no. I mean, I would try to win, but there were times where I just really got myself into a lot of
Blues tubes.
trouble with obstacles and whatnot.
Okay.
Okay, I know you said obstacles. On my end, it almost sounded like you said popsicles.
Yes, I had a lot of trouble with obstacles.
Curse
Ooh,
them.
look at Retro Cortex. He looks cool.
A little bloodshot, if you ask me, but anyway.
I don't know. I think he looks cool.
So anyway, it should also be said that in Nitro-Fueled, there's actually 2 modes of adventure mode that you can play in. You can either do You could either do the classic adventure mode, where you stick to one character and one character only, along with the default card option. There's also a Nitro-Fueled mode, where basically you're allowed to pick anyone you want and whatever customizations you want to add on, like whether it be stickers or carts or the costumes that they're wearing.
I'm assuming with this game, different characters control differently or handle differently?
Yes.
Characters are pretty much put into four categories. There's the beginner class, which is basically they have the least amount of speed, but they have the most acceleration to make up for it. You got the sort of beginner, but not quite, which are the best at turning and have a little more speed than the beginner class, but their speed's still not up to snuff. Then you got the balanced characters like Crash or Cortex, who are just, well, they're balanced in all stats. And then you got the
heavy set characters.
I like to call them the heavy characters, even though weight really plays nothing into the equation. Basically, they have the biggest top speed, but their turning and acceleration leaves a lot to be desired. But if you can master those characters, especially with the drifting, honestly, you're pretty much a complete beast on the race course.
All right. Jordy, do you have a particularly favorite Crash character?
I think Coco has to be one of my favorites for sure.
That is nice. I was half expecting you to say Nina because of reasons.
I mean, I like voicing her, but I think because she hasn't been in many games, like, only the... Yeah, I'm trying to get my words out.
Her debut was in Twinsanity, wasn't it?
Her debut was in
was
Twinsanity.
Crash Purple.
It was in... Okay, by technicality, Crash Purple. Her big main debut wasn't until Twinsanity, which offered a pretty interesting gameplay shift. Her personality was non-existent, though.
Yeah, and I don't think I cared much for her design either. I mean, I get why they made her look like a toothy dork.
It's like a Frankenstein monster, almost.
Yeah, kind of.
If Frankenstein had a goth daughter, okay.
My
Kind of.
daughter, niece.
But yeah, Coco's definitely my favorite, and I think, and I guess this is mostly because of, Steve's
James.
voice work. Cortex is also growing on me.
Well, I love Lex Lang's work still. He's the Cortex
Same.
I was really becoming familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still batting 1,000 here, even as
Green
he's
Cortex.
even if he's going a little green around the gills.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
from the back, blue Crash looked like Stitch for a second there. Also, James, you almost blew that. I almost was worried you're gonna blow that race when you turned the camera the wrong way.
No, you're giving James... you're not giving James enough cred. He actually is really... speaking from both looking at this and from the online sessions that we've done a few times, he's kind of a beast in this game. Some would argue to an almost obnoxious degree.
No, he's fine. I'm assuming a game like this takes going from Mario Kart to this.
This game does have a bit of a learning curve to it.
Yes, and that's exactly why the likes of Aku Aku Nuke Luke are here, to give you the pointers on how to play this game competently.
From your exhaust turns black. Then press the power.
This is so weird.
If you wait too long,
I'm having a very hard time accepting this.
miss your chance.
Yeah, no.
I was about to say, it is weird because, it is the same actor from Insane. I am curious as to
Right.
why exactly they didn't make him sound like he did in Insane, as opposed to, how he sounds here.
See, I'm just expecting him at some point to be like near a car with like grease stains, a tattoo, a big muscly arm. Like, I'm just gonna be looking over your transmission fluid over here.
Open this door. You must come in first place in
Sorry.
all four
Anyway,
races of this
sorry.
Yeah,
go
this
ahead,
is the
James.
boss door. You have to win first place in all 4 races of this portion in order to unlock it.
Hey, James.
Yes.
What's up with that key thing in the top? Because I remember there was one portal that we needed a key for.
The keys are basically your means of progression, and the only way to get those keys is to beat the bosses. To get to the bosses, you gotta earn all 4 trophies in an area.
Gotcha. Pura time.
Hi, Flora. He's so cute.
So
I
much better
always,
than
I
Polar.
always thought it was Pura, but okay.
I think it's Purra.
Honestly, it's hard to tell between the two. Like, there's never been an official pronunciation of the name.
I thought it was Pura. Like pure. No, anyway.
But yeah, Purr, if I remember correctly, is a beginner type, much like his canine companion Polar.
Right.
if you can call him a canine.
Ursine companion.
Ursine.
Ursine companion. That's what you. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, I'm assuming I don't think I would do too well. I feel like there would be some. I feel like there would be some like mental conflict where like I'd be so used to the handling of Mario Kart that it would like conflict a little bit with the handling in this game.
A bit, yes. In fact, I will say this right now. When I first started playing Nitro-Fueled, my muscle memory was going to absolute hell and back because the way this game handles its control scheme is, well, it's definitely unlike Mario Kart. Like, for example, in order to do the drifting, you actually have to use the upper L and R buttons as opposed to the
backward ones.
The back shoulder buttons, which I honestly prefer more. And on top of that, on the Switch version, most kart racers I've played, you just have to use press the A button to turn on the ignition. Here it's the B button or the cross button if you're playing on the PS4.
Yeah. Also, just as a bit of a personal thing, I don't know how many other people... Devil damn. I don't know how many people would agree with or disagree on this. I don't like playing this game in handheld mode.
I got used to it, and honestly, I will say I kind of have it a little easier playing on portable mode, just because playing on a Pro Controller, the L and R buttons are not quite as good as they could be.
Well, for me, the reason I hate playing it on handheld mode is because there's just something about trying to hold the Switch with the, way the buttons are set up, kind of irritates my hands more than if I did with, like, the controller.
If you say so. I guess it's really just one of those cases where you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Dang, that missile stops for no one.
Oh yeah, no, like depending on the circumstances,
oh
boy.
The opposition can really mess you up if they use all their artillery when they're really right next to you.
Yeah.
Do you have to finish him first?
Of course, you can lay that kind of smack down yourself.
Yes, you do have to finish him first.
Okay, I thought it was like a top 3 kind of thing.
No,
nope.
You have to be in first place in order to get a trophy.
Yeah, because only the best can race the best can race Oxide.
If it does help any though, in Nitro-Fueled mode, there is actually a difficulty selection. You can either go from easy or normal or hard, and I will say for first timers, it honestly does pay to do your first run on easy. Just because on normal mode, the AI can trip you up if you're not completely at your best.
Also, unless you're the most godly CTR speedrunner ever, be cautious about picking hard.
Yeah.
Is there you were mentioning the odd control scheme. Is it possible to remap any controls?
It's not possible to remap it, but there is an alternate control scheme which basically makes it more where the trigger is used for the ignition as opposed to the button. Think of it kind of like, say, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform.
Okay.
Which I honestly think for this kind of game doesn't entirely work, because to make the most out of the boost mechanic, you need to use 2 triggers. Or 2 buttons, whichever. But
I can see it being harder to reach with the thumb to hit 2 different buttons. I get you.
Yeah, it honestly, sometimes this game can feel like you're playing a game of Finger Twister. But even still, once you master this game's mechanics, honestly, I feel like it becomes a much more fun game than even, say, Sonic All-Stars Transform or Mario Kart 8.
I would have to agree, once you're able to get past the learning curve, it's actually a lot of fun to really see how fast you can go, and to, hold on to your speed, because this is one of those games where it's one of those games where a lot of the fun is to seeing how long you can keep your boosts going.
Oh, yeah.
How often does Aku Aku or Uka Uka interrupt us to give us tips that would
He stops after the first world.
No,
Okay,
he stops No. He stops after the second world.
Because I was going to say, some of these tips sound like it'd be better if they just were played during, during loading screens.
Well, they do it. They do have some of them during loading screens as well. It's just that, they're paying tribute to the original game. That this is how they gave out their tutorials.
To open this door. You can race a boss after beating
this is big.
And in all fairness, this is really all that Aku Aku and Uka Uka really have going for them in this game, outside of being an invulnerability power-up.
Well, just wait for the DLC that they have announced for this. I've heard that they do.
You know how fucky paradoxical it'll be when Aku Aku and Uka Uka actually do become racers.
It'd be great.
And not just because they don't have hands.
Maybe it's the two of them working together. One person, Ukuka's controlling the steering wheel with his eyebrows, and Aku Aku is pushing the steering wheel, is handling the pedals.
That sounds all kinds of painful and awkward.
And that's why we want it.
Because I want to see him try and animate it.
You know what they say, comedy often derives from tragedy or pain.
You know what? The more I think about it, if Ripperoo can drive with just his feet, why not?
Sure.
It's true.
If they put Chain Chomp in a tennis game,
Oh, that's...
I'd laugh if they put Chain Chomp in a tennis game.
No, they did. Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh. Oh, okay.
that's the best part. I think he was trying to say punch it
Yeah.
or something originally because I did not hear that. I heard him caution language, I guess, if people even care about that anymore.
Welcome to the channel.
I heard, and I quote like, fuck it. And just as if he was about to just start, as if he was just gonna bail the race and just leave.
That just reminds me of when Nolan North and Troy Baker did their stream showcasing this game. And of course Nolan did acknowledge that he was Engine for a time, and even spoke in character a few moments where it's like, I will not be in last! Oh shit, I'm in last.
Oh shit, I'm last.
Still my favorite part of that entire stream.
I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't want to be in last all the time.
That's great.
I'm glad that he had fun with the character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can tell just by his deliveries that he had fun with it. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wow, hello. You almost bumped into a wall.
I will say that the sewer speedway here can be a little awkward to traverse through. Ow.
Ow!
Thank you, Toxic Can. I needed the massage.
Even more painful than the last time, Wall.
I'm also thinking back to Tag Team Racing. It's like, that hurt! Thank you!
I will kill you last.
Give my remains to science!
Just lines like that. I need to listen back to those clips again. What was that like video that you were showing me on?
Someone did upload a video where it's just the clips, but I think you're talking about where someone took their Undertale playthrough and just put Engine's clips from Tag Team Racing throughout it.
Honestly, watching that video just shocked the hell out of me how many lines of dialogue they had Nolan North play for Engine. Like, just in one game alone.
Honestly,
Yeah.
a lot of characters have that treatment.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, like I was surprised, like that much dialogue. I was expecting like that to be attached to like the Titans stuff, like a full a full campaign with cutscenes.
Like, honestly, it really just goes to show where all the budget in Tag Team Racing went to.
No offense, no problems with the guy currently voicing Engine. I just like
Corey
Nolan a bit. I just like Nolan North better.
I kind of agree. Like, I think Burton definitely does a good job capturing the classic Engine. I just get more enjoyment out of Nolan's take. By the way, speaking of Burton, he's also the guy that's voicing Oxide here.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good, Oxide.
Look at me! I'm an artificial byproduct of society!
I am also the best waifu when you unlock one of my costumes, which is also a reference to CTTR.
Ooh, speaking of best waifus,
Hey,
Oh,
there's our
hello,
boss.
Ripperoo.
Yep, just like in the first game.
What are you doing?
and he still speaks in crazy laughs.
Yeah. But if you look at his subtitles, they're actually word for word exactly like the unused vocal dialogue from the original.
That's cool.
Really? Like, wait, you mean to tell me this wasn't just, like, paraphrasing from the original?
No, like, in the final version of the original game, the dialogue was a lot more, a lot shorter, where it's like, you think you can race me? Last one across the lines of Ron Brain. All the added dialogues, like the I should be the one facing the Oxide! That was based on the unused English voiceover he had.
Oh.
Interesting that they went that far back.
I'm down for that. Also, last
Honestly,
thing.
the fact that they incorporated so many Easter eggs like that, I love. Like, spoiler alert, well, not so much spoiler alert, you saw him in the opening. Penta Penguin is still an unlockable character, and even in this new generation, they still kept the whole Penguin Yay One!
Only this time it's actually voiced by Penta, and not just some random guy behind the mic.
That's so
Would you believe me
crazy.
if I said that the person that voices Penta in here is the same guy that voices Dingo Dial?
I almost thought you were going to say that the person who voices Penta is the same guy who made those original clips, but they actually had him do voice acting this time for real.
I don't know.
That'd be funny, but yeah, no. Penta in this game is voiced by Fred Tassior, who voices Dingo Dial, and also another
Komodo
boss
Joe.
we'll be meeting up with later, Komodo Joe, and it's like, goddamn, what a contrast. Anyway, as far as the boss races are concerned in CTR, the bosses cheat.
What?
You have to cheat back.
Yeah, basically, the
Ah.
bosses, they have, with the exception of Oxide, each boss prioritizes one item. However, they throw out a never-ending supply of said item. In Ripper's case, it's never-ending TNT barrels, or boxes.
Which means
Yes.
the second lap is about to get really interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm way ahead of them.
Oh my! No, I mean like
Just
the second
don't
lap's
get
gonna be
too
interesting.
cocky.
I just mean like the second lap's gonna be interesting because he's probably been laying down a minefield of those TNT everywhere. So I'd keep the camera facing forward. Oh gosh!
Actually, it should be said
Uh-oh.
that the TNT boxes he does leave out do disappear after a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And I think he only starts really spamming them when you're behind him.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. You gotta clear the distance.
He mostly spams the items when he's right behind you, so that's when you want to be especially careful.
I'm watching the minimap there. How bad's the rubber banding in this game?
There actually isn't, like, too bad rubber banding, at least not like Mario Kart levels. However, if you are, like, too cocky or whatnot, they can catch up.
I would say it's only really at its worst in like the hard mode.
Lastly, I noticed this other meter above the drift meter that seems to fill up whenever you are airborne and doing jumps.
Oh,
What
that's
is
another
that?
thing that, in addition to, like, the drifting boosts, there's also a boost that you can get if you jump off ramps. You know how on Mario Kart you can do, like, tricks while you're jumping off ramps?
Right.
You can do that in this game, too, and depending on how high up in the air you are, you get that much more of a boost.
A grizzly polar. Oh, that's cute.
Aw.
Oh, trust
Oh,
me,
jeez.
they take full advantage of the characters that they're getting caught out alts for, and yeah, suck it, Ripperoo. Oh yeah, he's giving out our reward.
Yeah. Oh,
Ew.
well, to be fair, where else is he gonna keep the double damn thing?
Fair.
Honestly, it looks like it should have been much more worse for wear considering where he kept it.
True.
Yeah.
But we're off to our second hub.
Congratulations on opening this new area. Here you will find 4 more tracks to race. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aku Aku. I mean, Uku. Yeah, I said it right.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Gaku.
Agaku, yeah.
I feel like,
Sorry.
oh nice, we got the boss.
Oh yeah, this is another change that they made for Nitro-Fueled. Once you beat the boss the first time, they're yours to keep.
Yay.
In the original Crash Team Racing, you could only unlock the boss characters by racing through the gem cups, which is something you have to unlock by getting all the CTR tokens. That's honestly something we can elaborate more on near the end of the commentary. But while Polar contemplates his next move, stay tuned for the next part where we head down to the Mayan temples, which is also home to a Coco themed theme park.
Oh.
Till next time, guys.
Well, bye.
Bye.
Zoom-a-zoom!